We have here what I consider to be the best myth on the Camino. It's a little gross. It involves an angel, betrayal, and cooked chickens coming alive on someone's dinner plate. How cool is that? To exit Najera, locate the Iglesia de Santa Maria la Real, which is worth a visit if you haven't been there. After a brief climb through a neighborhood above the town center, turn right on a dirt road. The walk continues through a patchwork of vineyards and open fields. As will be the case for the entire length of the Camino, watch and listen for bikers sneaking up from behind. Unfortunately, as a general rule, they don't slow down for walking folk. After nearly 6 kilometers of this gentle terrain, we reach the small population 250 village of Azafra. Between the 12th and 19th centuries, the town maintained a pilgrim hospital, or hostel, but it's gone now. In its place, there's an albergue, 2 hotels, bar, and small plaza with a fountain. Keep in mind, the faucets on the left are for drinking water. Straight into the mouth, if you like. Once out of town, walk along the main road for a moment, turn right, and then left onto a paved road that runs through more fields. About 3 kilometers since leaving Azafra, we cross a paved road. From here, the route is anything but level, as it roller coasters up and down several small hills. If nothing else, it's a visually interesting walk.
hard not to notice all the sunflowers as we walk along. Now, according to the locals we talked to, the farmers are required to rotate their crops, and apparently right now it's sunflower season. Now later, these will be chopped off at the top and the seeds will be harvested for birds or for oil. And in any event, it's one of the most aesthetic things along the way. And another reason there's so many sunflower crops right now is Ukraine used to be the primary source of sunflower oil and seeds until the Russians invaded it. We're looking at you, Vlad. And so Spanish farmers took up the slack. They saw an opportunity, and boy, did they run with it.
At the top of one of the many hills, we come to a rest area with water and shade. From here, we descend to a town that has all the looks of a place that's been nearly deserted.
And here we have Siruania, which finished construction in 2008, right when the worldwide economy tanked. Population, about 100 or so, when it was designed to be home for 10,000. I suspect what happened was someone said, if we build it, they will come, and they didn't come. Well, except for the locals from Santo Domingo who play golf here. Now, if you're looking for a deal, the last time I checked, there's a cozy little bungalow on the golf course that'll run you 79,000 euros. And if you're looking for something más espectacular, there's a 19,000 square foot home that runs about 289,000 euros. By the way, I don't get a commission for telling you that.
We leave this cautionary tale in real estate investment along mostly empty streets, turn right on the main road, and then left on a gravel path. The route takes us through wheat fields and more sunflowers. The empty fields here have a feeling of unlimited space, which is a good thing, until it starts to seem as if the road itself goes on forever. But then we crest one last hill and can look down on our destination, Santo Domingo de la Calzada, demonstrating just how important Camino travelers are around here. They've even erected a sculpture just for us. There's still some walking left to do, part of it involving an industrial area with little charm. After checking into the hotel, our innkeeper proudly shows us a remnant of the ancient wall which once surrounded the city and is still standing in a corner of the hotel.
Esto es un dibujo de cómo era Santo Domingo en el siglo XIV. Se mandó construir por el rey de Castilla Pedro I, porque andaba con su hermanastro.
Apparently, the hostile Rey Pedro I was once a home built up against the outside of the wall. When the wall was taken down, the house owners held on to this chunk and added it to the existing structure. A bit of preserved history. The day's hike isn't so long that there isn't time to visit the Cathedral de Santo Domingo de la Calzada, perhaps the only church in Spain famous for its chicken story. According to the story, a German family traveling the Camino spent the night at a farmer's house here in Santo Domingo.
Apparently, there was a rather saucy daughter who tried to corrupt the almost saintly German son named Huguenot. He spurned her carnal temptations. In return, she slipped a silver cup in his backpack and accused him of stealing it. He was hanged as a thief according to the laws of King Alfonso X of Castile. Here's where the story takes a supernatural turn, as all such legends must. The German family, minus one, completed their journey to Santiago, and on the return trip discovered their son was still hanging at the end of the rope. But he was still alive. Seems a rather sympathetic and tenacious saint named Dominic was holding him up all this time, keeping the pious kid alive. The family went straight away to the local magistrate, insisting that the miracle meant their son was innocent. The magistrate, who obviously wasn't that observant if he hadn't noticed a breathing, not quite dangling young man, laughed at them and said, "That boy is no more alive than the rooster and chicken I'm eating." And with that, his gluttonous meal decided to prove him wrong and got up and started crowing and singing. And that is the end of the story. However, we're left wondering whether the son was ever relieved of his interrupted execution. Plus, I suppose the intention of the tale is to reinforce the idea that if you're devout and faithful enough, you can get out of just about anything. And if you look at it through the lens of the 21st century, this has a misogynistic moral that women are evil and dangerous people, and men should not trust them. Lastly, as if to prove this myth is founded in fact, you can go to the local cathedral and for a charge of €5, meet some rather pampered chickens said to be descendants of the resurrected fowl.
As a final note, before he became a saint able to thwart hangings, Dominic was buried here in 1109 when this was a modest village church. With subsequent construction, it became a cathedral in the 13th century. As for the chickens, they are swapped out from time to time from a larger flock kept at a refuge.